Good morning. Welcome to Reiki Wednesday. I'm Jamie Lee of Animal Bonds. Thank you for joining me this morning. Today, I would like to talk about gratitude, and that's a word we hear a lot this time of year, with tomorrow being Thanksgiving here in the States. But I would like to discuss or rather, the relationship that exists between gratitude and the Reiki Precepts. And while gratitude isn't specifically mentioned in the Reiki Precepts, it is implied. So let's take the first one. Do not anger. It has a very strong relationship with gratitude. So if you're grateful, it's hard to be angry. And it doesn't matter what happens, it can be really hard to be angry if you remain grateful. Even when bad things happen. And this happened last week to a friend and I when we were traveling. We were a little bit outside of Kingman, Arizona, and if you're familiar with that, we were headed back to Vegas. You know that area is a busy highway, but there's not a lot out there. We had been in an animal sanctuary, and we'd been there all day, so it was dark. It was kind of cool for us Las Vegas folks. And events occurred that left us on the side of the road with the car unable to be driven back to Vegas. So it was a Thursday night, and for a moment it was stressful. But then when you come from a place of gratitude, you find there's a lot to be grateful for. My friend had the good sense to have a towing service that she had signed on for a long time ago and placed the information in her glove box. So all we had to do was open the glove box and there was a number. Well, we also both had cell phones. And not only did we have cell phones, we had cell phone coverage out there. So we were able to call. While she was calling for the tow truck, I was calling a friend back in Vegas. And when I told her what happened, she said, I'll send my husband. So something to be grateful for right there. The tow truck arrived quickly. He was kind enough to let us sit in the cab so we could warm up. He got her car safely on the tow truck. He had us asked where we wanted to go. He took us back to Kingman to a truck stop right there while he took her car to a safe place to wait for the next day so she could take care of it with insurance and all of that. So we were safe. We had all our physical needs met. We were sitting in a truck stop. We were warm. We were surrounded by people. We had food. We had something warm to drink. We had restrooms. Yes, we could have been upset. We could have been angry. But with all that was given to us to take care of us while we waited for my friend's husband to come get us and bring us safely back to Vegas to our homes, how could we feel anything but gratitude? So you see, gratitude does play a factor in the do not anger precept, because you can't be angry and be grateful. So we'll look at the next precept, do not worry. If you're in a place of worry, you can't be grateful. That's all there is to it. Those two things cannot coexist together. So it's one or the other, and we get to choose which one we want. Do we want to worry, or do we want to feel grateful? When we look at the precept, be humble. And when we're humble, I mean in touch with our true essence, our true source. I don't mean putting yourself last or building everyone up at your expense. That's not the kind of humble we're talking about. It simply means knowing that the ego and the physical, the material things of this world, those things are not who I am. I'm much bigger than all of those things. Yet I'm humbled and grateful for the experiences I get to have while I'm on this planet. Look at the precept that talks about working honestly. Again, working honestly means recognizing what you came to this planet to do and then just doing it. Don't judge it. Don't worry about it. Don't wonder if it's as good as what the neighbor's doing or your other family members. Don't worry about any of that. Just be grateful that you have an opportunity to come to this amazing planet and fulfill a purpose. Some people call that destiny, some people call it dharma, but it really doesn't matter what you call it. It just matters that you do it. And finally, be compassionate towards yourself and others. When you live in a state of gratitude, gratitude for your life, for your blessings, for the people that you love and that love you, for your job, for the animals, for the planet, when you are grateful, it is much easier to be compassionate. And I believe just as worry and gratitude cannot exist together, I believe that compassion and gratitude must exist together. So every year around this time, I like to reflect on all the blessings that I have. And last year I started something new. I began my gratitude jar. And every time something happened that I was grateful for, I would write it on a little slip of paper and put it in my jar. And tomorrow I'm going to open up that jar, and it's a big jar with lots of slips of paper in it. And I'm going to reread and remind myself of the blessings that I experienced this year. And once I do that, then I'm going to start all over the day after Thanksgiving and begin writing down my blessings. And what I've found is that I start to look for them. By doing this, I actually have started to look for my blessings because I want to make sure my jar is good and full by Thanksgiving, by next year at the same time. And a lot of times, maybe I would have said, oh, that's really nice. I'm glad that happened. I feel grateful for that. And then I move on because maybe I'm busy. Maybe I've got something else going on. But this makes me pause. It makes me stop and really think about this moment of gratitude. And I'm sure when I go through it, I'm going to have forgotten about a lot of them. And it will be my reminder. So it's kind of a new tradition that I'm starting. And I would like to offer you something for Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving tradition if you want. Feel free to use it. It's my way of saying thank you for your support of animal bonds and Reiki and animals and all the beautiful work that everyone is doing on this planet to help animals. And it's called the Thanksgiving Reader. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post it after I post this video. So feel free to share it, feel free to print it off, to use it. The idea behind it is that when you're at your Thanksgiving Day table, you go around and you read it. And if you have a lot of people, then you have a lot of people reading. But it doesn't matter. Even if no one is at your table and you're working, but before you go out the door, take a moment to read through the Thanksgiving Day Reader. It talks about gratitude and all of the wonderful things we have in our life. So today, I'd like to leave you with this thought from the Thanksgiving Day Reader. I'm going to read it. It's by Melody Beatty. Here's what she says. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. It turns problems into gifts, failures into successes, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. It can turn an existence into a real life, and disconnected situations into important and beneficial lessons. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. I think that's just beautiful. So I want to thank everyone. I see Chris join me, Stacia join me. Thank you so much. And if anybody else did that I can't see your name, I want to thank you for joining me this morning. As always, feel free to leave comments or questions below, and I'll try to answer them next week. Feel free to share the video. Feel free to share the Thanksgiving Reader that I will be posting as well. And I want to thank everyone for joining me on this beautiful, beautiful journey of Reiki. I wish you many blessings today and tomorrow and throughout the year. And I hope for you today that today brings peace and a vision for your life. Thank you so much. Namaste.